Alright, so now the idea is that we are going to construct a fake mesh around our shoe, and on this mesh we are going to distribute some points, and on these points we will instance some bubbles. Alright, and we will do some geometry nodes magic to reveal our shoe. So let's go. Okay, so let's just work on the same startup file and let's continue in it. And I will first of all select my shoe, Shift D, copy it and take it aside. And now if you press N and just check the rotation, I will press Alt R so that our rotation is reset, and let's make a fake mesh around it. I will first of all make use of our layout. Let's come here and let's treat it as top view, and let's treat it our right view. Alright, and let's also join them, and this will be our freehand rotation. Alright, so let's begin. I will shift S, cursor to selector, shift A, cube. Let's drag a cube and let's scale it around. I will press shift Z to go into my wireframe mode, and let's get cooking. Alright, and this is the end result, and ultimately you are going to use my file so that we are on the same page. I will delete it for the sake of the tutorial, and then if you open up your geometry nodes part 1, you will find this proxy mesh. Open it up, and from here just Control C and go to your file and Control V, and just go into your right view, Shift Z to go into your wireframe mode and align it, and that's it. You are good to go. And now it's time to place it on our shoes. So first of all, let's get our camera here. Alright, and that is our camera. Let's first of all, if you have noticed that rotation should be matched, so I will click on this. I will go here and use a copy rotation constraint. I will select my object, which is this shoe, and now our rotation is matched. I will Shift S, cursor to selected. Select our cursor is on that main shoe. Select this main object, Shift S, selection to cursor, and now our object is roughly placed on it. I will go Shift Z and I will just move it a bit down. You might have to scale up your proportions a bit, and I think that is it. And once you have roughly matched, just Control A to apply the constraint, and that is it. Let's move forward. Now the main tutorial has just begun. I hope you're not tired, and I will simply put my cursor there and spawn a cube, and I will roughly make it to match our shoe scale and this scale, something like this. And now let's open our geometry nodes panel, join here and geometry node editor. Now first of all, let's get clean now. Just place it anywhere, it doesn't matter. Let's also delete that shoe, it does not matter now. I will new collection, and I will name it proxy shoe. Alright, and let's hide it, and I will also keep this in the proxy shoe category. Alright, now let's hide all of it, and I will go here, select new, and I will cut this out. To shortcut is press Control and right click, and you will get this knife. Just cut this off, and I will drag my cube and my shoe here. Alright, first of all, let's work on our cube, the proxy shoe, which is this. use relative. That is important, and let's begin. So first of all, the idea is to add points on the faces. I will add distribute points on faces node, which is this. You can increase the density, and I will also spawn in an instance on points. Instance on pointers here, and I want to instance UV sphere on them. Just connect this in. All right, now the idea is to first of all set the scale. I will get in a random value node. You can actually use this to scale it up or down, or use the radius, but let's use this setup now. I will connect this in, and let's choose a minimum radius to around, maybe our maximum will be 0.1, maybe 0.6, and let's take a minimum to around there. And also use Poisson disk so that our bubbles, these balls, are not overlapping with each other. So to visualize this, let's just connect this to understand. Right now at random we have this, but if you use Poisson disk, you can decrease or increase the distance like this, and your points will not overlap. I think right now it looks fine, but let's connect it as a whole and see what's happening. This is looking like this. I think this is also not bad. Let's, if we decrease the distance, it is overlapping. Let's keep our distance till there. I think this is fine. Alright, and now the idea is that these UV spheres should move along the normals. Normals of what? Normals of our base mesh, that is this. So if you see, each face has its own normals, shooting up, shooting here and there. Alright, so I want these spheres to move along the normals of this object. So for that I need to get that information. So let's add in a capture attribute node right here. So I am using Blender 4.0, so this node has a bit change. In 4.2 or above, you will have that in your screen next. Alright, so the bases are basically same. So in the latest Blender version, the capture attribute node is a bit simpler. Like, you don't have to select anything at the bottom, just plug this in, and once you select these points into the offset, you will have this option again here, or the offset, and then bring out the normal and just plug it in, and that is it. And now I will simply choose vector of face, and I will drag this out and choose normal. Now we have the information of face normals of this mesh. Now I will use set position node. Set position, as the name suggests, it basically offsets its x, y, and z location. Alright, we are changing the position of these points. Alright, so now let's plug this information in the offset and see what happens. So these have moved along the normals. I will simply use a vector math to visualize it. Use multiply, and let's see, it's going like that. If you decrease it, it's going up. Alright, so these are moving along the normals, and that is what we want. So one thing which you must be noticing is that while we are decreasing it, these are going away from the shoe, but I want it to happen the other way around. So this has, basically the problem of our main mesh. I will just hide it for now. Open the setup up. I want my base proxy mesh. I will select this, press 3 and select all the faces, and shift N. You will get this option and choose inside. Now our normals are flipped. Alright, let's get back to our main cube, which is this main object. And now if you try increasing it, they will go away from the mesh. So this is basically for our own understanding. Alright, you can do it the other way around also. So let's move forward. Alright, now if you see that these normal thing is being controlled by this, this node, but I want this to be controlled by an external object that will be a UV sphere. Let's scale it down, keep it there, and also go into viewport display, bounce, use a sphere. Alright, now I want this thing to control where they go. Alright, select this mesh again. I will just get this UV sphere, which is this, and I will drag it into a node tree like this, and I will choose relative, and I will spawn in a map node. Alright, choose divide, and also a geometry proximity node like this. Plug this in here, this here, and this here. This might be a little confusing, but this 3 node setup gives us the access of this UV spheres, scale and location. Alright, so its location and scale will control how far and how close these objects are. Alright, select this, and now I will, let's plug it in and let's see what happens. So now this location and scale is affecting our UV spheres, but it is not in control. So let's get this under our grasp. I will add a color ramp. Let's take these sliders till up till there maybe. Alright, so now we have this effect. Now to take further control of this, I will add a float curve. So float curve basically has a value from 0 to 1. So if you understand in these terms, like 0 is this and 1, the farthest value is that. Alright, if I plug this in, nothing changes, as 0 is this and 1 is that. If I can easily change our farthest value, that is 1, by adding a math node set up to multiply, and look, now our farthest value, that is 1, is being changed by this node. And now you can simply play with this curve, and you can wonder what if our farthest value comes here first and then it goes back to 0. Now let's see the change. So it goes up, that is 1, and if you keep expanding, it keeps coming back to 0. Alright, so that is the effect. You can play as much as you want, maybe make something this kind of a design. Now it's something like that, but I think we do not want it to be that fancy. Alright, I will keep it that way. Alright, something like this. You can still change the farthest value, how far it is going, but I think this will suffice. And now the idea is that as it scales up, the UV spheres move along the normals. They should scale down, and our shoe should be visible behind them. So let's get our shoe and see how it is coming up. Join geometry, place it here, and just plug this value here, and shoe is right at the back. Alright, so now it's it's kind of visible, so we kind of have to fake it now. So for that, let's just make our UV spheres, get them to an invisible value by adding a scale instances node somewhere right here, and feed the value from our effective, which is this, to our scale, and just reverse it up by adding a float curve. So it should happen from 1 to 0, from visible to invisible. So let's check it out. So now as it is expanding, our shoe is being visible. So that is what we want. So for now, if you see, there are some gaps in it, so we should just fake the shoe simulation in it also. Alright, so for that, I will use the delete geometry node for the shoe, plug this in, and I will feed, let's copy this color ramp. Alright, and I will feed the value from here to this color ramp, and this is a selection node here. So it's basically selecting some points which should be visible, and that is coming from our effective, which is this. I will show you what I mean. I will simply just select this here. Let's see what is happening right now. Nothing serious. I will just drag this. It should be flipped, I guess. Now it is happening. It should be somewhere there. Alright, so now let's see. Now it is giving an illusion that as the spheres are going away from the shoe, it is expanding. So let's just also drag it till there. Alright, now this is what we want. The shoe is coming up from behind the spheres. And now let's also check out our render view what is happening, and you will see that our shoe is completely gone. Lights are not affecting because these lights were affecting our this collection, and this is actually that cube. Let's also rename it original, whatever you may like. I select these lights again and go into light linking. I will drag this original mesh right here, and same thing for the top light. I will drag this collection and drag it down there, and now it's visible. And I will also I see that UV spheres should be set smooth. I will get in a set shade smooth node and plug it here, and our sphere are like that. And I also think that there should be light hitting from this side. Alright, so I will light area RX90, and it should come there, something like this, and it is affecting the backlight. I will also use a back wall. I will also use light linking on this and drag and drop this mesh here so that our back wall is ineffective. And I will also I just need the slightest value of it, maybe 5, 4, maybe let's try 2. Let's hide it and see. Alright, I think 2 is fine. Maybe also get it till here so that the bottom portion is a bit more lit. Let's increase the size of our effector and see. It's coming like that. Not bad. I think we are doing good. So let's move forward now. And now I want you to understand that there are actually two shoes. One at the back, and the main shoe, which is actually the main color of the shoe, that is coming up with these sparkles. Alright, so we need two shoes, inner layer and outer layer. So right now we have the inner layer or outer layer, whatever you may like. So let's make another shoe. Let's copy it. And now the idea is that the inner layer, which is this, let's call it the inner layer only, it should come and go. So for that, let's use a delete geometry node again. I will shift D to copy it and plug this value again here. Let's plug this in there. It's gonna do the same thing. Let's flip it. Sorry, this is the flip, and I will simply get this till here, so it comes and it goes again. If you expand it, you see it's coming and again it's going, and this is the part where this shoe is coming up. Alright, so let's work on it. Okay, so now let's use another shoe model, which is this, and I will do the same tricks on it. Delete geometry, it comes here, and let's get in another color ramp, and I will feed the value from our effector, which is this, and let's feed our value from here to here. Let's get it here, and also feed this value there, and see what is happening. I think it's getting flipped, I guess. Yes, now it's coming up till there. Now to understand it, I think we will have to use our render mode. Alright, so now this is the shoe, which is the inner layer. It should be a different material. I will use set material and just plug this in between, so we can just visualize it, that which is the inner layer and which is the outer layer. Alright, so now our 60-70% work is done. Alright, these points are expanding. We have the inner layer which is visible, and our main layer is coming out of it. And now it's time to do some texturing. I will gather in a shader editor panel here, and I will spawn in anything, maybe a cube, scale it down so it doesn't affect. I will choose new here and name it inner layer, and go back to our main mesh and select inner layer here, which is that, and select this cube again. Now let's texture it up. I will choose glass, choose any material. I used glass back then with some roughness in, something like that. Alright, I think that will suffice. You can use any color, maybe anything, but let's stick with this right now. Now let's texture the orbs right now. Let's come back here, choose a UV sphere, you can choose anything, but to make you understand, let's work on this panel only. So for these spheres, let's work on this bigger screen. To make you understand, let's choose these lightings. Alright, so now new, and I will choose in a mix shader first. Yeah, they're in a mix shader, layer weight. Alright, and we are going to mix emission with our principal BSDF, and we will be using an object info node also with some color ramp. I'm just spawning whatever we are using. I will just explain in a brief time. Alright, this comes here and let's begin. Alright, now the idea is that these orbs, the spheres, should be all of different colors, like maybe dark brown, maybe a beige, and also a black. So this should be the spectrum of it, and let's plug this in here, and let's plug object info random here, so that every orb, if I shift D to copy it, everyone has a different color from this spectrum. Alright, let's also add in a white somewhere, something like this, or maybe let it be, I think it's like that only. Alright, now let's reduce the roughness, and also we will set shade smooth in the, like it's already done, let's also shade smooth for them also, so we understand it better. Now use layer weight to add glossy, like emission from the corners. Alright, so let check it up, color ramp. Alright, it's like this. Maybe try facing to this. Let's mix it up. Let's use this as a mask between our principal BSDF and our emission, which should be of maybe this beige color. Maybe light it up to 3, maybe just drag it up so are only the corners, the circumference is lit up like this. Alright, it's done. Its material is for spheres. Let's get into our geometry node panel. Where is it? UV sphere, and let's set material in and choose spheres. Now let's see how it looks here. Alright, not bad. I think maybe just increase the brown volume of it so that we have some brown sheets more than black and beige. Something like this works, or maybe just go into the shader editor again, choose spheres. The boundary should be left to white, and I think that is it. Now the next thing which we have to do is add sparkle on this area so that it looks like the illusion is that the sparkles are forming the outer layer. So let's do it. And now this is the point where things start to get messed up in your head. Alright, now but just stick with me, I will make you understand. This is the node setup of our fake mesh, which was this. Alright, and this is of our inner layer, which is this, and this is of our outer layer, which is this. Alright, now the one more layer which comes up of the orbs, which is this, it has to come from this, the fake mesh which was all around it. So we are going to make use of this one more time, alright, to make those orbs. So let's do it by copying this setup. Let's this also, let's copy it up, take it somewhere where it does not confuses you. Alright, so I will now also copy the set position up till here, select this up, and we are going to feed the information of our effector, which is this. Copy this, and also this separately, and take it above like this. I will get these sorted like this, attach it here. Alright, so first of all let's just get rid of everything else. Alright, I will get this first, select it. These orbs should be of scale instances first First of all, I will need instance on points. On points, come here, and I will use icosphere for it. Icospheres are here. Just reduce the radius straight away. I need them to be very small, something like this. And choose random. Poison does not matter. Just increase the radius as much as you like. Now I want this to be somewhere here. Alright, let's use scale instances and use our effector color ramp, and I will feed the information from my effector to the color ramp, which is here, and let's see what happens now. Right now it is just dissolving. Alright, this was set position, sorry. Scale instances should be here. I will just scale instance and scale it down. Now it is showing right like that. Alright, now let's just join it up and see the effect right now, like how it is happening. So now I want these points to be specifically around this region, this small region. Alright, so for that, so now let's just use a float curve, drag these points closer somewhere there, and float curve, if you remember, we can get these points here and this down, so it scales up, goes to this point and comes down. Alright, now if you drag these sliders somewhere there, you know it's getting to that region. Let's drag it back and see it's going there. Let's drag this back. Now it's going the other side. Let's drag this, and I think we are doing something right. Alright, now this is fine. Now let's also use the set position node now. Alright, now let's just attach these nodes here, and this is coming from our effector, and also attach the normals. Guys, this is getting really confusing for me too, but just tag along, you will get through it. Alright, this comes here. Alright, and now you will see this effect is happening. Let's play with it. Let's drag till here. Let's also, I think this is fine. Let's also make them go invisible. Let's drag this slider here, or just to the other way. Alright, so now we have something like this going on. Let's also get this closer a bit. I think it is covering that part. Alright, now let's decrease the size of it 0.01 and increase the density to as much as you like, as much as your PC can stand. I will drag this to, maybe this will also suffice, or we can do it more, maybe 3500. Let's see, it's coming till there. I mean, you will have to play with it, you know, this is not going to be easy to find the right G spot. Let's also get this till here. Maybe let's play with it first. It's going till there, it should be covered, and let's go till there, and I want this region to just rise up, only this particular region. So that is this. Let's play with the slider and see what happens. Nothing in particular. Let's drag this. Alright, now it is happening. Now it is happening, but I do not want them to be go that far from the shoe. So let's decrease this point here up till here. I think that is the perfect spot. We have just did it. Just done it. Let's also give it some color. Set material. Come here, and we will use a new material here. Lighting. Alright, choose emission. Connected here, and choose the lighting material here, and choose a bright yellow. Increase it to 5, 6, maybe 7 works, And there it goes, our whole effect is done. I know this has taken a whole lot of your PC, guys. This is not easy. The last part, especially this part, you will have to struggle to find the G spot. This is not something like it's written somewhere. So the best thing which you can do is check the project file and see where these two sliders are, so that you can be on the same page as mine. Alright, and so let's get this done in our next and final chapter, the animation, and the part 1 will be done.